Hello dear students, welcome to science class. Today we are going to learn about non-contact force. So as you all know that we are learning about the lesson that is chapter 11, force and pressure. So under force we are learning about the types of force. Okay, so first we have learned about contact force. Under contact force we have learned about muscular force and friction. So those two forces were the forces that was exerted by the contact of objects. Today we are going to learn about non-contact force. Under non-contact force we are going to learn about magnetic force. First we are going to learn about magnetic force. As you all know that magnetic force does not require any contact of objects. See here, magnetic force is a force exerted by magnets. Example, the force of attraction and repulsion between two magnets, force exerted by a magnet on a piece of iron or steel. See here, the first example, the force of attraction and repulsion between magnets. As you see in this picture, we will come to know that we have taken two bar magnets. Okay. So whenever we bring a bar magnet in the near to, we are not bringing it in the contact, but if you bring a bar magnet near to the another bar magnet, the bar magnet attracts or repels. So before coming in contact itself, the magnet will show the force, that is magnetic force. And this is all we have learned in last year. We have learned about the chapter fun with magnets. In that we have learned about the attraction. We have learned that north and south poles will attract. So when we just bring these magnets near, the force will come to force. Okay, so south and north and south will attract each other, whereas north and south will repel each other. They will not attract. That is called repel. Okay. So this force is attained not by touching any objects. So when the objects are far or it is near, somewhat near, that during that time itself the force is seen. And you can also see the picture in figure 1, that is steel nails are there, magnet is there. So you can see the steel nails get attracted towards the magnet when the magnet is not in contact. So the magnet was in this position. We all know that whenever we bring a magnet near to certain objects like iron objects or steel objects, it will show its magnetic force. So this is called non-contact force. Without contact itself, the force will act. The next is electrostatic force. So electrostatic force, what is it? So electrostatic force is a force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. So electrostatic means a charged body attracting or repelling a charged or uncharged body. For example, see here, to study this actually about electrostatic force, there is a chapter itself. Okay, in 8th standard itself, we have a chapter in that. We will study more about electrostatic force. But in this chapter, it is given very little information. For you to understand, I want to make you clear that we all have done a experiment, a funny experiment, that we have taken a scale or a comb and we have rubbed that comb or a scale on our hair. Okay, and what we did, we will just sprinkle pieces of paper on the bench, and what we will do, we will take this rubbed comb or scale near to the paper bits. Okay, and we will see that the paper bits will get attracted towards the scale or a comb. I hope we have done this funny experiment. Understood? So it is like a game. So that is called electrostatic force. So how does that comb or a scale. We think we will take a scale. How this scale got that power to attract the paper bits? Isn't it? It is because the scale got charged. So when we rub the scale on our hair, okay, so it gets charged. How does it get charged? Okay, it gets charged because when we are rubbing the scale and all, these scales, they contains atoms, isn't it? And the atoms contains what? Electrons. And when we are rubbing this scale, the electrons will get excited. Okay, I already told what is an atom and all. Atoms contains electrons. In the nucleus of the atom contains protons, neutrons. But the electrons will be there in the orbits that gets excited and will jump from one atom to the other atom. It will jump. Understood? So the scale gets charged. If it loses the electron, it gets a positive charge. If it gains the electron from other body, it gets negative charged. Understood, student? This is what happens in the non-living things. Okay, so it may be a plastic or any some more especially plastic. Understood? Or rubber. For example, balloon. Okay, when you rub the balloon becomes charged. Okay, inflate a balloon, and if you rub the balloon, it gets charged. Even balloon can attract paper. So there are so many experiments related to that. I will make sure that I will put some video also. Okay, so that is called electrostatic force. So here also an example is given. See, a plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper. So may think that this is charged by rubbing the paper. So this is a plastic straw attracts a suspended plastic straw. So this gets attracted. So next you see a plastic straw charged by rubbing with paper repels a suspended plastic charged by rubbing with the paper. So if even this is charged, this is rubbed and this is rubbed, both get charged. If the charge is same, that it gets repelled. So light charges will not attract. But see here, if this is positive and this is negative, it gets attracted. If it is same charged, if both are rubbed, they won't get attracted. They will get repelled. Okay, if they are having opposite charge, they will get attracted. So understood what is electrostatic force? Okay, this force that is attained by. And the next is gravitational force. So gravitational force is all, you know it very easily because there is always a force, isn't it? The earth is having a force that is called gravitational force that attracts everything that towards it. Okay, so gravitational force is the force exerted by the earth on all objects. So on all objects it is exerting. Because of gravitational force only we are standing on the earth. We can walk on the earth. Okay, otherwise if there is no gravitational force, we will just float on the air. It pulls all objects towards the earth. So whenever you throw something, it has to come down because of the gravitational force. Example, a coin or a pen falls down when it slips off your hand, isn't it? A coin or a pen, it has to fall down if it is slipping from your hand. If there is no gravitational force, it will float. Important. It is very difficult to live if there is no gravitational force. Okay? Leaves and fruits fall to the ground when they get detached from the plant. So that is what leaves should fall down, isn't it? Can you see the ball coming down? Leaves are coming down, rain coming down, water falls down, coming down. So if there is no gravitational force. So all this is because of gravitational force, and that gravitational force is the force that is acting without the contact, isn't it? So this was all about the force. So now we will study about pressure. See here, what is pressure? Pressure is the force. So pressure is also a force acting on a unit area of a surface. So force is, you understood what is force? Okay? A push or a pull is called force. Then what is pressure? It is told that pressure is the force, but acting on a unit area. This is very important. Area is very important. Okay, that is why the formula is given as pressure is equal to force by area. You have to know that, see here, force is directly proportional. So pressure is equal to force, directly proportional. So if you apply more force, there will be more pressure. If you apply less force, less pressure. But you see, the area is below force. So this is inversely. Okay, means what? It is reverse. What does it mean? More the force, less the pressure. Less the area, sorry. See here I am telling first about force, directly proportional. More the force, more the pressure. Less the force, less the pressure. But see area, more the area, less the pressure. Less the area, more the pressure. Understand this. You will understand when we explain it. If the area is smaller, the pressure, see here, if the area is smaller, the pressure is more on the surface of the same force. Example, it is easier to push a nail into a wooden plank by its pointed end than its head because the pressure is more. See here, have you seen a nail? This nail, isn't it? See here, what is easy? Is it easy for the nail to go from this point onto the wall or from this point? See here, it is so difficult for the nail to go from this point into the wall, isn't it? If you are putting this part of the nail onto the wall and pushing it with the force, will it go inside? No. Same force. But if you apply the same force for this area and push the nail inside, will it go? Yes. What does it mean? See, if the area is, see the area is so less, na? Isn't it? The area is so less. Understanding? But see here the area is so more. Means what? If the area is more and you apply force, the pressure is less. Understood? If the area is more, pressure is less. If the area is, see, small area, and you apply pressure, okay, what will happen? The pressure will be more. And I am talking about force. For this also you are applying the same force, and for this area also you are applying the same force. It doesn't matter. What matters is the area. More the area, less the force. Less the area, more the force. So that is why, can you see so many things? See here, why they have given the knife here? Which is easy for the knife to cut? Is it easy for you to cut the apple from this part or from this part, from the upside part? Yes, or the answer is from this part, na? Why? Because this part is made sharp. What do you mean sharp? You are decreasing the area. See, this area is having more area. Okay, the upside is blunt. Blunt andre it is having more area. Okay, and can you see this part? This part, how do we make sharp? We make sharp by reducing the area. Understood? Can you see this chisel? Okay, and do you know, see, for this chisel how they will make sharp? How they will make sharp? But they make sharp by reducing the area. Here the diameter, see, the diameter is big, and when you come down, see the diameter. How thin this is. This is thick and this is thin. Thinner the area, more the pressure. Understood? Okay. Why they have given this bag? Do you know? See, the bag, we are putting the bag with the help of this strip, isn't it? So if the strip is less, what will happen? Will you feel pain? Yes. Okay, when the bag is loaded and when you use this strip, if the strip is thin, you feel more pain on your shoulder. Okay, means what? Less the area of the strip, more the pressure. Understood? And if the strip is thick, see, that is why your bag strip is thick. Understood? What will happen? You won't feel any pain because the area is more, the pressure is less. Otherwise, there will be more pressure on your shoulder and it makes you feel pain. At least now you have understood what is pressure. Understood? Pressure is equal to force by area. So, more the area, less the pressure. Less the area, more the pressure. So see here, that is what they are learning. It is easier to push a nail into the wooden plank by its pointed end than its head because the pressure is more. Where it is more? Okay, pointed end. Then next you see, it is easier to cut vegetables with a sharp knife than a blunt knife because for the sharp knife the pressure is more. Shoulder bags are broad and not thin straps to reduce the pressure. Understood? So straps are broad because to reduce the pressure. And when you learn this, you will understand so many things. Understood? So many things that we incorporate in our daily lives. For example, in your book they have given about a potter carrying heavy load. Understood? So the person is carrying heavy load. Otherwise, think about you know that women will carry water pot on the head. Understood? So they will have a cloth, isn't it? They will just fold the cloth and keep it under the pot. Why? Because so that the pot the weight of the pot will cover a large area. Okay, so that the pressure will get reduced. If they won't put the cloth under the pot, the pressure of the pot will be directed towards the small area, and you will feel that your head is paining. Okay, it pains the head if the area is less. So in order to increase the area, what they will do, they just keep the cloth and they will carry the water pot. And the same way only in your textbook also they have shown the potter carrying a heavy load, and he has used the cloth, a piece of cloth. Okay, a round cloth he has used on his head so that the pressure is reduced. And also in this picture also you can see the bridges is having a larger area. Okay, the foundation of the buildings and dams are laid on a larger area to produce less pressure. So for the bridges and all, the foundation is so large, isn't it? So that the pressure of the bridge is reduced. That is very important to know about the pressure. Next we will learn about pressure exerted by liquids and gases. Liquids exerts pressure on the walls of a container, isn't it? Liquids will exert pressure on the walls of a container. That is what we have to do. Understand that even the liquids and the gases will exert pressure. Liquid exert pressure on the bottom of the container. It depends. See, can you see? This is the liquid container. They have placed the liquid. Can you see the rubber balloon? Isn't it? So, can you see the liquid exerting pressure on the balloon? Yes. So, more the liquid, more the pressure on the rubber balloon. And see here, liquids exert sideways pressure also. So, this is the container. Here is the liquid. Here the side tube is there, and they connected to the rubber balloon. Here also the liquid is exerting pressure. You can see the balloon is inflated. Next you see, liquids exert equal pressure at the same height. See here, can you see the bottle is pierced, and you can see the water coming outside from all the sides. Okay, and you can see that the water is exerting pressure at the same height. And the pressure exerted by gases exert pressure on the walls of the container. So these are all rubber tube balloons and all. So it will exert pressure on the walls of the container, and that is why we can use it. Okay, in the balloons also. And you have to understand that there will be, see here, in the atmosphere also there will be pressure. Okay, there will be pressure from the atmosphere. The gases in the atmosphere also will exert pressure, and at the same time the air that is there in the balloon also will be exerting pressure. See here. So this pressure is equal to that pressure. Understood? How more it may be. So that's why it doesn't blast. Otherwise here the gases of the atmosphere will be exerting pressure and the balloon may blast. By why it is not blasting? Because even the gases which is there in the balloon also will exert pressure on all the sides. Okay. Next is atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure means what? The pressure in the atmosphere. Atmospheric pressure is the pressure of air around us. Around us, what is there? Air is there, and air also will be exerting the pressure. Atmospheric pressure is due to the weight of the air. So see here, so much of think about that. There is so much of weight in the air because we are covered by air. Okay, we are covered by atmosphere, and the atmosphere there is so much of gases. And what does it mean? And the weight of the pressure of the air is so much that it would blast our head or our body, isn't it? Okay, but why we are not blasted? That is what very important. It is because inside our body also there is a pressure from the liquid, that is from the blood and all. Okay, our body also will exert equal pressure, and that is balanced. How I showed this balloon, the same way there will be atmospheric pressure around our body. Also think that this is our body. Understood? Even our body pressure, blood pressure will be there. It also will exert pressure, and this pressure is nullified. It is equal. That's why there is no. We don't feel that there is any pressure on our body. See, atmospheric pressure is due to the weight of the air. The weight of an air column of the height of the atmosphere and the area 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter is as large as 1000 kg. So this is the air column they are speaking about. Okay, this is the area of the air column, that is 10 centimeter 10 centimeter. So this area, what is the air pressure of this air column? That is 1000 kg. Think about that. How much is the air pressure on our body? Okay. But I already told what it is. The reason we are not crushed under the weight is that the pressure inside our body is equal to the pressure in the atmospheric pressure and cancels the pressure from outside. Okay, so they wanted to tell you that there is more pressure. Okay, there is more pressure in the atmosphere. But why we are not crushed? Because our body pressure is also exerting pressure. Understood? So the pressure inside our body is equal to the atmospheric pressure, and it cancels the pressure from outside. But when you go to the other planets, understood, the other planet, that atmospheric pressure is different. It is more. That is why we have to wear space suits. Okay, we are wearing space suits so that the atmospheric pressure is nullified. And this is what this is there in your book, page number 141, figure 11.20. Did you know it is Otto von Guericke, a German scientist of the 17th century, invented a pump to extract air out of a vessel. So this is the rubber sucker. So he used two sucker, and what he did is he invented a pump to remove all the air from the sucker. Okay, he joined two hollow metallic hemisphere. So he has taken two metal hemisphere. Two hemisphere means this is when you cut so if you cut a ball, this is the ball, circle ball. If you cut it into two, it will becomes two hemisphere. Understood? So like that, he has taken a metallic hemisphere to hollow hemisphere. Hollow means what? Nothing is there inside it. To metal, it is made up of metal, and he removed all the gas from the metal. Then what happened? Then he employed 8 horses in each hemisphere. 8 horses. Understood? So he employed 8 horses in each hemisphere. Here 8 horse and here 8 horse, and to pull them apart. So he has fixed these two metallic hemisphere by removing the gas, and he joined 8 horses on every side, and he tried to pull it apart. So, but it was not possible. So why it is not possible? Because as there is no air inside this metallic ball, what happens? The atmospheric air pressure is everywhere, so it doesn't allow the metallic ball to come outside. Okay, that is why it is not possible. The air pressure was so great that the hemisphere could not be pulled apart. It could not pulled apart. If there was air inside the metallic hemisphere, that air would have exerted the pressure. But as there is no air inside the metallic pressure, he removed all the air from the metallic hemisphere. That's why the atmosphere pressure was so great or so high that it does not allow the metallic hemisphere to come outside. So that is the chapter. This is about force and pressure.